Chinese companies are going abroad. It's a megatrend for the next decade. Every region around the world, Africa, Latin America, South Asia, Eastern Europe, the US, these regions will see investment by Chinese companies. And yet, we know that in order for those companies to build sustainable businesses, they really need to figure out how to become better global corporate citizens. And the focus of this report is on exactly that issue. How can Chinese companies take the next level of global corporate citizenship? This is a really timely report on a hot issue for the global economy. Well, we really hope that this report makes an important contribution to the dialogue and to the ideas that Chinese companies need to pick up as they go abroad. I think there's a few specific impacts. One is that the report helps to explain to the global community the reality of the progress that Chinese companies are making in terms of global corporate citizenship. We profile in the report a number of Chinese companies that are actually doing amazing things in terms of local community engagement, global corporate citizenship, and responsibility. And, many people don't really understand these stories. We also talk about the domestic changes inside of China that have led to a much greater focus on corporate social responsibility by Chinese companies. We also, though, recognize that Chinese companies are only midway through a journey towards true global corporate citizenship. And so the report also highlights several practical suggestions for Chinese companies and for Chinese policymakers regarding how to make progress in global corporate citizenship. One really important message from the report is that global corporate citizenship on the one hand and successful business strategy on the other are in fact tightly linked, particularly as companies seek to globalize and expand and build their business and build their brands in foreign countries. It's vitally important that global corporate citizenship be a key part of the business strategy. And in the report, we profile the very successful examples of Chinese companies like Costco, like CITIC, like Lenovo, like Huawei in their globalization, and we show how their global corporate citizenship practices have been a fundamental part of their business strategy. Well, we're delighted to release this report, but the launch of the report is really only the beginning of a program of engaging with Chinese companies, with policymakers, and with members of the World Economic Forum community. For example, at several of the regional summits of the World Economic Forum, starting with the Africa Summit in Ethiopia in May, there'll be a series of seminars and engagement activities with executives and policymakers from around the world on the report's findings. Also at the annual meeting of New Champions, or the Summer Davos in Tianjin in September of 2012, there'll be a number of activities around this theme and around the report.